in the book, I try and not just make it a dry book about sustainability, although it does.
You or not.
And what I try and do is weave the story throughout the tale of the driving across the country and begging for grease and that sort of thing.
Right.
But along the way, we had these stops, and we stopped at the Google headquarters, where they have the largest solar array of the largest private array of solar panels. We stopped at a farm in Minnesota, where the farmers are making more money off of the plot of land that has the wind turbines that they put on it than on the corn that they're planting around it. And we stopped at Fort Knox Army Base, and among other places, and we investigated how they've gone through this whole energy efficiency drive, and they've installed these ground source heating and cooling system. I was talking about the future economy and the sustainable technologies that we can create. And that's really what the book is about. It's not really as much about the environment as it is about the economic benefits that we can reap from driving on free gas, or creating technologies that people can use to be more sustainable, that actually will save us a lot of money. Solar panels that pay for themselves within X number of years, and then all of a sudden you're getting free electricity. I just talk about. I try and put things in a very accessible way, and I try and present both sides of arguments. And really, the book is. I try and, like I said before, weave it into this story of going across the country and kind of our misadventures. So, as much as we're talking about the sustainable points in it, it is a white knuckle ride of a suspense thriller book. Lest you be fooled that it isn't. I talk about kind of the future economy, and I quote Bill Clinton, who was at this one meeting, who said that if we're at the leading edge of creating sustainable technologies, just like we were at the leading edge of manufacturing, we were at the leading edge of the tech bubble and everything, if we're at the leading edge of that, then we'll see, it was his prediction, that we would see the biggest economic growth this country has seen since World War II. And if we don't actively pursue it, then there are countries like China who are already ahead of us in that. And when I was going, the price of gas was getting up, and the whole grease rustler thing was kind of starting out. Basically, grease, up until recently, was used solely for putting on animal feed and for cosmetics. And so there became this demand also to use it for fuel, to refine it and turn it into biodiesel, which you can, as opposed to regular straight grease like I put in my gas tank, or put in my separate kit, you can put biodiesel straight into the gas tank for diesel cars. So when we went in the Midwest, we couldn't find it anywhere because there was such a demand from people who wanted to use it for their tractors and things like that, and then also for animal feed. So we'd go into cities. We went into Lincoln, Nebraska, and there was just none. It was such good grease too. Oh, it was clear. It was cold out, yet it didn't gel at all. It was pure gold.
Did you find that like Wendy's had better grease maybe than McDonald's?
The best places are Chinese restaurants and Mexican restaurants, because they change their oil every day, and they use non-hydrogenated oil. They use the soybean oil or canola oil. So those were the places that we tried to hit up first, and then if we didn't have much luck, which we didn't, we'd go to truck stops. We'd go anywhere. We generally didn't go to fast food restaurants because they have such structured setups for everything. Certain people who are paid to take away their grease and this and that, and certain setups that they cannot deviate from, that a manager of a McDonald's cannot deviate from. So we generally avoided fast food restaurants. Well, I guess the general gist of the book is that if two goobers can get across the country with minimal knowledge of, with minimal mechanical ability or knowledge of cars, if they can get across the country without paying for gas or without stopping at a gas tank, then there's certainly a bunch of alternatives out there, a bunch of resources out there for ways that we can consume energy cheaply and sustainably. And that's the whole point of the book. It's about the two goobers and also about cheap, sustainable